My camera just ran out
All
of
right.
battery.
All right, cool. We good right here. All right. What's going on, everyone? This your boy at Big Hand James _36. Struggle Made 105. My guy Freddie Stevenson. And this Inside Drills, our last in-season edition. Now we can go do more uplifting shit where we talk about, just have more former pros, more different things like that. But instant reaction show with, rivalry edition, Florida State versus Florida. I want to maybe entertaining. Terrible play, terrible football, but
That
like
might be the worst football game I've seen played all season.
yeah, like it was like close, but it's like damn, it was almost at some point it was like who wants to win, who wants to lose more than the other person. And Florida finally played with a little bit more heart. Florida State kind of came and made it close toward the end. Some questionable things toward the end, but one thing we talked about with Ahmad Black, if you checked out our show from yesterday, if you haven't, still go watch it. It's still a good overall show about somebody who's kind of used and leveraged football the right way to move forward and be great in their life. Once this game is played, it don't records throw records out the window, man. It's a matter of heart. It's a matter of you play with these guys or against these guys most of your life, because most of us from Florida, and it's going to be some clashing going in. But all in all, like once really with the drive 1 to drive 2 with Jordan Travis, once he went down in his shoulder and we had to try to figure it out, that's when we kind of saw the way the game. We kind of knew the way the game was going to
go. Yeah, I think it was the second drive of the game, and it killed it a little bit early. And they did a good job. One thing I would say is trying to hold things off until he got back. He was able to come back, and we got a little bit once he came back in the game. So good on them being able to hold him off, because I felt like at that point Florida was going to take a little lead, but defense held up.
Yeah. I mean, people want to complain, and I've seen it all on Twitter. Man, this is why we need a better quarterback. Man, our defensive coordinator sucks, or this and that. And one thing I've said all season, man, like what do you want a guy to do, man? Like, what you want the defensive coordinator to do? It's 3rd and 21. A guy breaks 2-3 tackles. Like, you got to get a sack. You got the defensive ends converging at a point, and then the quarterback just steps up and just barely escapes it with nobody pushing the pocket. I mean, you got guys, like from a football perspective, guys are in positions to make plays. One-on-one with Andrew Parchman, your senior, I think 5th-year senior wide receiver, on a freshman corner in a jump-off situation. And though I believe it was an incomplete pass, the freshman bodied him.
Man, you know what? Clay kind of said a lot to me in this game when Pierce, the quarterback, his helmet comes off, and he gets up and runs through our whole defense with his helmet off, finishes off in the end zone. Man, I felt like at that point, like, man, these guys wanted more.
Like I put something out on Twitter and people were retweeting it saying, like, man, that's respect. I love a solid running game, man. And I got to respect the guy who goes out here and runs with violence. And that was just a fucking violent run. Guy grabs the top of your shoulder pads, you snatch it back, takes your helmet off. You damn near take the helmet off for him so that you can go run into the end zone. You won't be denied. And then it stalls. Florida gives him the ball back. He walks into the end zone. It's an attitude thing. And we just don't have enough guys right now playing with that attitude or playing with that discipline. When people talk about depth, I mean, from a talent perspective, I think these guys have it. I just think from a perspective of straight up bullying, being harder than the other person, being like want to give, want to, whatever you want to call it, we didn't have it like Florida had it at that point. And everybody had adversity, and we just didn't handle it as well. And, there were some spots where the coaches put them in bad spots. I mean, rightfully, that's just the reality. End of the game, you have opportunity. You got, it's a minute and 40 seconds left. You got 3 timeouts. Kick the damn, it's a 2-score game. Kick the damn field goal and then give yourself a chance on the onside kick. Or, give yourself a chance on the onside kick. I've seen onside kicks that just go straight to the guy. That's a bad onside kick. I have never in my life seen somebody completely miss it and it go forward, and then the other team gets it. It's kind of like it was a microcosm of a lot of things that have happened, and it's just damn, dog. Like what can you do, bro?
And based on how this game was going, I was telling them over there, man, I knew this game was gonna end with some silly shit.
Right.
But I didn't think it was gonna be that silly. Like, how the hell you missed the whole damn ball? It don't make sense to me, man.
ACC refs, shitty. We can blame ACC refs all day, but the refs didn't fumble. Excuse me, the refs didn't muff a punt after your defense gave up a good drive. The refs didn't miss a couple tackles on 3rd and 21. The refs didn't drop one-on-one situations. We don't like calling guys out, right? But the film don't. The eye in the sky don't lie. Like some of you guys, and this is from a position of love, and this is the truth in love. But you show that you don't really want to go get your mama that house like you say you want to get your mama that house. You got multiple, like Florida went on offense. Florida went straight man most of the game.
Yeah.
Man is one-on-one situations. People keep talking about the quarterback. You show me, inbox me, DM. My DM's open, baby. You can go IG, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want. DM me the play where the wide receiver was open. Consistent. And I'll say I am a logical person. But we didn't win one-on-one matchups. We won one-on-one matchup that this alcohol isn't blocking my memory from thinking. And that was Pokey with the one-handed grab on the sideline. There's nothing where we created separation. Like, that's just disrespectful. That's truly disrespectful as a wide receiver. You give me man, I'm beating you. I'm beating you. Hell, at fullback, you give me man on an option route. I'm winning that shit. And it's just, but again, going back to really where Florida had, you got a quarterback that legit, was it 4 interceptions in the first half? We had 7 points to show for it.
It goes back to the past 2 weeks we had the Miami. We can go back to that. They gave us all those opportunities that in the first half and we didn't take advantage of it. And then last week, Boston College gave us all those opportunities and we didn't take advantage of it. Then we played a team this week that I knew from top to bottom was more talented than both of those teams we played. They just had some things transpire over the season, and we don't take advantage. So, man, listen, this is a team that if we don't jump out on them, they're going to whoop our ass because they got more talent than us.
Right.
You've seen that. And it was something that scared me. You saw it today. It's just two bad teams. Fortunately, on our behalf, we benefited from the fact that they didn't seem to want to win the game until late either, so it kind of helped us out.
And Emory Jones is that bad, right? Emory, you kept us in the game, dog. Like I think if Anthony Richardson plays the whole game, the game is complete. 15-27, we had no answer for it. And even then, Garrett McGee, the offensive coordinator for this game, showed that he's a dud. I got news for Florida State fans. And this is no indictment of the coaching staff. Like we both have been pretty much adamant that we actually like the coaching staff. I think they're good guys, and I think, with time they can get us and stuff. But next year is a really big transition year for everybody in the state of Florida and a lot of college football. The next 72 hours, you're going to see a lot of coaching changes. And what I'm hearing from out of the University of Florida is if they get this offensive coordinator that they're supposed to get, and I'll tell you it's rumored, because the rumor is obviously that Billy Napier. And Billy Napier is supposed to be bringing Tom Herman. Don't know if you recognize that name, but Tom Herman was basically the guy behind the offensive mind, the true offensive mind behind what Urban had at Ohio State. Terrible head coach, good offensive coordinator. His ass is dialing it up. We got to get cats, and what we got to replace is 11, who played very well. 4, who I'm pretty sure if we go back and we watch the film, we'll see he played well. He just didn't fill the stat sheet like he normally fills. You got to replace those 2. You got to hope Gaynor decides to come back. And I think Gaynor probably should come back. He needs another year of development. But, there are pieces on defense that we played better, historically better, but we didn't match that.
Yeah.
Offensively, we better find somebody who actually makes defensive coordinators go to, sleep hard at night. Like fear sleep. We don't have a wide receiver that just sits there and be like, damn, we better figure this guy out. I think, we got a couple guys that are be dominant 2s or 3s, but we don't have a number 1 guy. Like, no matter who's the quarterback, we need a guy who, on the goal line, we draw it up, we know we're going to win 75% of the time.
that's the issue. You need those guys. Like when we got down by 2 scores, looking at it, man, this is a team that we know can't score quick because we don't have those guys. We're gonna have to dink and dunk the ball down the field because we can't create separation in those big plays. That's the issue with this team, man. We took so much time off the field just to get those scores that by the end of the game, we put ourselves in a situation where it's tough to win, even if we come that onside kick situation.
Right. Looking at time again, clock management. I blame that on Jordan Travis at the end of the first half, but also Jordan Travis is dealing with a shoulder and a bunch of other things. To me, what needs to happen is in that situation, coach got to say, hey, you got to make a play, get down. We only got so much time. We want to try to kick the field goal. If you make that field goal at the end of the half, you're up 10-7, getting the ball coming back. And then even then, like it's not just, and this isn't just a theme with Florida State now under Mike Norvell. It's a theme with Florida State the last 5 years. Like you just lack the ability to cut somebody's neck off, man. Like Florida gave you every opportunity in the first half to run up the score and Munn stop it. I don't care who was at quarterback. Mackenzie Milton, Tay Rodemaker, Jordan Travis. Like 7 points and a half with 4 turnovers is just not acceptable. And what was it? We ended up scoring, at 14 points in the second half, even though that's more than what we've scored in recent weeks. It's just we had a whole third quarter where we were blank. And that just doesn't, like, you can't have that. Like, at this offseason, what's got to happen, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know, old heads can't come in there and shake it into you, man. If you don't, you either want it or you don't. Like, you not, like, you hear. None of y'all are as bad as what people are saying, in my opinion. At a certain point, it's a will and it's a want-to. Like, football, the beautiful thing about football, we joke about it, we're giving the ball to the fullback in short yardage, and Dilly talked about it on Tuesday. The reason why I like a good run game is because it's the only time where you don't go, you know you're not facing 15 years. At most, you may face a 15-yard penalty if you do it too hard, but you get to physically impose your will onto another man, and people cheer you for it. Like, at a certain point, that's a mindset. That ain't got nothing to do with if you're a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, no star. Like, because when I go back and I look at our offensive line, I guarantee you I'm not seeing a lot of people 265 pounds. I know I'm going over there seeing 6'3", 6'4", 295, 320, all these different. Like, you literally weigh the same weight as everybody else that these guys have to play. The difference is you sometimes you play softer than fresh baked cookies. Like, it's fucking 4 quarters, bro. Like, somebody maybe inbox me, tweet me. Let me understand the mindset. Like, you going out on the field with that was a long ass game too. That's a 4-hour game you played, and you really go out there and just get bullied for 4 hours? I just couldn't fathom it. Like, I'm gonna cut you or something, dog. Like, you can't just whoop my ass for 4 hours and then me not do nothing but smile and then the problem is you want to fight in all the opportunities where it's not legal.
Yeah.
You want to fight before the game. You want to fight during the game. You want to do everything except for fight. Fight not during the plays, but like in between plays. You're doing everything but fighting in the regulation when you get the opportunity to do it.
And don't have an issue with a man driving your ass into the dirt. Everything else is an issue, but you don't have an issue with that. That's weird to me. Don't make sense. I just don't understand the mindset. You'll let a man physically impose his will on you, drive you into the dirt, but then after the play, when nothing's even going on, you want to fight. Fight on the play, but he's driving your ass in the dirt. Fight for your life then. But no, you want to fight when things don't matter. A guy running to the sideline, just doing stupid things, being undisciplined. But you'll let a man just drive you into the dirt. Like that don't make sense to me, man. We from a different era. I just don't understand it, especially as a football player. And then not even that, in a rivalry game.
Right.
Come on now.
Like, you gotta see these guys when you go back to school. Go back to your high school. When you go back to your hometown. When you go back to, y'all worry. What we're gonna see is y'all gonna post the pictures of everyone against us. Don't be a fan later. Don't do all this other stuff. But like, man, make this a fan. Like, make people want to come out there and cheer for you, man, because of the way you play, man. Like, I talk about it all the time. These are the games, no matter what the situation is. These are the games where people remember you for the rest of your life, man. Like, and some of y'all just straight up refused to make a play. And what's disheartening is a couple weeks ago, you did that. Like, it's not that you're not capable of doing It's just that you're not consistent with doing it. And I know a lot of people want to point fingers and blame coaches, and I get it. And at the end of the day, it falls on coaches. But I was talking, matter of fact, when Dominic Robinson, I was talking with D-Rob DMs when we were trying to get him on inside drills. And I was like, man, we made plays in spite of coaches. Like, we made plays because we wanted to make plays. We made plays because we wanted to go to the league. We wanted to we wanted to, like, truly change our lives. Even if you did make it to the league, you wanted to truly change your lives. You wanted to be talked about forever because everybody in the nation is watching this. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's a heartbreaking loss. It's another one of the many losses that we've had that when we go back and we look at it, it's literally 3 or 4 plays that we can say if these things would have changed, that we would have been on the other end of it. But this ain't Nebraska. I don't want the feel-good stories. I don't want to see these fucking articles talking about Pro Football Focus or advanced analytics say that if, you know, the sun shined a little bit brighter, if it was 2 degrees warmer, the ball would have had 30 psi and we would have completed more passes. I don't want to see that shit.
This is the thing that people don't understand. They come up with all these BS analytics and not understanding that those 3 or 4 plays that could have made the game different. Good teams make those plays.
Right.
And we consistently mess those plays up. That's why we are what we are. So you can try to twist it around and make an excuse to make it sound good to fit your narrative. But the reality is we are a 5-7 team now because we can't make those plays. A good team cashes in on those.
And again, that gets you fired. Like, legit, that will get you fired. And that's been the theme. That's why people wanted Jimbo gone when they felt he quit. That's why people wanted Tag gone. We can say we can clean up everything, but at the end of the day, we got 3-6 and we got 5-7. Those are the 2 consecutive years. And now we lose. Like, this 5-7 team was exponentially better than the 3-6 team. But exponentially better only showed you 2 more wins. That's just not good enough. Like, and I'm not, it's not calling for anybody to say, yeah, I believe in the staff. I think they need time. It's just calling it what it is. Like, the guys ain't making the plays. And the guys who were making the plays that made the 5 wins are not, like, literally either on the way out, or the reality is people are saying they don't want those guys. Like, they don't want those guys leading the team. And you've got to make this roster better. And while our recruiting class has the likes of Travis Hunter, hopefully, I believe he'll still be here, but it's all hopefully until them boys sign that grant and aid or they sign that contract. And you got to hope the transfer portal gets you some, continues to get you talent in the trenches, and hopefully you find a guy. Like, you just think about this. What the fan base is saying, what we're hoping for. Like, and this is what makes him special if he does come here, but damn, that's a lot of pressure. The fan base is putting their hopes and dreams on a 17-year-old boy, maybe 18 at best, that's coming off of an ankle injury, balling in the playoffs. But that's really where everybody's like, oh, it's going to change when we get Travis Hunter. Like, damn, dude. Like, think about where, like, we're used to getting top players at Florida State. Jameis Winston is probably in my opinion, and arguably everybody has their favorite player, whatever. But I've seen them all. I've watched the Charlie Wards and Chris Winkies, played with Anquan Bolden, played with some really, really good ones. But to me, Jameis Winston is probably one of the best players, probably the best player to ever wear the garden and gold. But when he came out, we wasn't saying, oof, all of our dreams are on Jameis Winston. Nah, he was just another good player that we brought in that lived up to the Seminole standard. Dalvin Cook, who I remember watching the cover when I first got into sports media, I saw how special he was. I said, yo, I said he was the best running back in the nation when people were saying Sony Michel was the best running back. And they were like, James, how can you say that? Everybody else is saying Sony Michel. And I said, like, listen, I'm watching 1A ball and I'm watching him run over everybody. I'm watching the dude playing at the highest level with guys. I know what them colored jerseys, I know what Carroll City guys look like. Yeah. I know they fast. I know what the guys he's playing against, and his ass is separating from them. But even him, when he came in, people weren't like, oh, my God, our hopes and dreams lie on Dalvin Cook. He just made it happen. Like, we got to get to that point where these are just cogs in the wheel. These are guys, these are expectations. So, I mean, I'm not knocking. Travis Hunter is going to change whatever he gets. Like if he's on defense or offense, exponentially raise the level of play based upon what we've seen. But then we need more than that. Like we need two of them. We need a quarterback. Yes, I'm with you. I think Jordan Travis could be it, but we gotta have. It ain't about next year. It's about 2-3 years from now. We're in a hole because we missed on quarterbacks. Like Chuba, like everybody who's like Chuba and wrote like the benefit or the biggest positive that everybody gave Mike Norvell was he signed high school quarterbacks. But what good is signing a high school quarterback if 2 years neither one of them are in the program? Because Rodemaker might not be here. He might get pushed out. Or even if he's here, we know for a fact he ain't it. Chuba not here. It's a lot of things, a lot of positives that went from this season, but it's a lot of things that, it leaves a lot to be desired, and you're losing a ton of production. So with that being said, just go in the game. What was the ugly that you saw in the game?
Man, the ugly we talked about, this might be one of the most undisciplined. It was all over the place games I've watched all season, man, from both sides. But we speak on the nose, man. It was so much undiscipline, and it was tough to watch. Even if we were able to come out with that win, man, just as a fan of the game, cut out the fact that we played at Florida State. That was a tough game to watch, all over the place, and it's just not Florida State football to me, and it kind of bothered me watching that.
Yeah, overall, yeah, it was we had a watch party, so where we're I should have said that. We're at Goodfellas Cigar Bar that I'm affiliated with. Great time. Had about 20-30 Noles that was in here, some couple Gators. Had great fellowship, great time. A couple former Noles other than ourselves. Actually, hey Matt, come here, man. We got another fullback, another 36 here. So we had all the fullbacks, and now we could have gave y'all a goal line pay. You gotta get closer. You gotta squeeze up in here so they can see you, bro. You just come on over there and see your face. But we had another fullback in here. He's bald headed and skinny now, so he been lifting weights. Yeah. So, but if we didn't have to talk, if we felt like we didn't have to do an instant reaction, oh God, I would have been watching Michigan Ohio State. Like it was some way better games on than ours, and it's outside of the recent history, I've never been in a situation where I say I'd much rather watch another game than ours. Or like even if I do and I have another TV on, it ain't like that our game was so bad or it's a blowout. Like we whooping this team's ass and now I get to go watch something else. I would have rather watched Georgia versus Georgia Tech. It's just I'm a fan of football. And I watch football and I talk about it for a living across boards, not just Florida State. And it just wasn't a good product for what that rivalry game has meant over the last 30 years. Or 40 years, I should say. Let's go with the bad.
Special teams. Good. And it's been the whole season. We can't catch punts all season. We tried today, and it was a swing of the game. We get a stop, we pin them deep, and it looks like we're about to flip the field. The punter kicks it a little bit further than what we expected, and that one cost us. And then at the end of the game, going to get an onside kick, we got a kicker that completely misses the ball. Special teams has hunted us all this season, and it killed us again today.
Yeah, man, that's valid. I mean, I've played, I've watched, I've coached a lot of. I've never seen that on an onside kick. Like, that looked like some Charlie Brown shit. Like Charlie Brown that put the ball down, he goes and kicks it. And she looked like I'm gonna go with the bad clock management. Just I knew it was something, right? So do you get the emails about like doing the victory walk with the former players come talk to the guys?
No, right. I may get them.
So I got the email and I don't know where did y'all stay in Gainesville when you played?
I think we stayed in Ocala.
Yes, okay. So we stayed in Lake City.
Okay.
So I was ready to go if it was in Lake City. When I read it was in Gainesville, I'm like, wait a minute, they staying in Gainesville? And we talked to Dilly about it. I said, wait a minute, y'all have never coached in this before. So y'all don't know, so it was just, even from the gate, from that, you don't, nah, bro. I mean, y'all may see that as, little innocent shit, but nah, I'd be afraid they're gonna poison my food. It's like this is not a kind of rivalry. This is a real, and this ain't Miami. Miami a big ass city, and we stayed at the airport Marriott when I played. Like, it ain't many hotels in Gainesville like that. And everybody, I remember when I was a jit, I had an FSU jacket on, and we went to McDonald's in Gainesville, and the lady acted like she didn't want to serve because it looked like I cursed her, like because I was rocking that. It's a real rivalry. But going into game management, you gotta kick that. You gotta be able to be in position to kick a field goal, get points where your defense has been playing like that. In the first half, a minute 40. You got to score twice. You sitting here trying to go for the touchdown that ended up coming, but like it just took us so long to drive, and then just that's just something I would consider bad. Special teams is definitely probably should have been my ugly, but like special teams is really bad. But I think Mike is still learning. He's like I want to be overly hard on him. But at the end of the day, Mike, my age, man. That's why I always tell people, like, y'all over here saying, like, you got to, like, Mike, 39 years old, bro. Like, Mike ain't coached on this high of a level right now yet. So he's still learning, and he will be a good coach. But, like, these guys ain't never been in a Florida State type level. Like, this is a rivalry that means something to people. Look, just look at Florida sold out. They sold out for a 5-6 team. Every other game, they've been like sparse, but this game right here brought a lot of fans, and the atmosphere was probably crazy, and we came out on the wrong end. So let's try to lead the people with some good.
Good from this game. I guess I'll roll with it, so I'm not the negative guy. It wasn't really much good, but I'll say we had a few players that stood out and continued to play the Florida State way in spite of the score. I think Jamie continued to play well all game, played physical in a rivalry game. I think at one point somebody said he had 18 tackles coming down, and it's an issue because your linebackers getting hemmed up, your front guys are getting hemmed up, but he's coming down and he's making those tackles. He missed some, but he continued to fight, continued to play, and didn't let the last play linger. And I think 11, man, I think so many plays throughout the game when guys from the other side were getting reached, 11's coming down and walking the guy down before they get the first. So those guys, that's my good, the effort they played with.
Yeah, I mean, that's about all you can really say. I don't want to hear that shit. They ain't quit. Like, look, it's kind of like when I was 5, I got my first real fight in kindergarten. And the kid messed up my Oshkosh overall. Right, my mama came home. I'm a single mother, worked hard for them shits. She looked at me and said, "What the hell happened?" I said, "I got in a fight." She said, "Did you fight back?" I said, "Nah, not really." She said, "What does he look like?" And I was like, "I don't know." She said, "So he fucked up your overalls and his overalls ain't fucked up?" She's like, "All right." So she grabbed me by my ear and she took me to the kid and she said, "You gonna whoop his ass or you gonna have to see me?" And so that kid had to get it. I didn't really want to get the ass whooping by her. I don't fear nobody. So my point in all of that is, if I'd have got my ass whooped again, my mama wasn't gonna say, "Well, baby, at least your fault." Nah, the idea was you either gonna whoop their ass or you gonna get your ass whooped again. Or she would have just been like, "This dog ain't got no bite. I know what my son is now. I gotta make him a scholar or something. Like we're gonna hit books." All that, man. At least they ain't fighting. What was the outcome, bro? Like you got your ass whooped no matter what. Yes, it looked better on the scoreboard, but we watched the game.
It still said L next to it.
It still said L. It was 17 points at one point. That was the difference that they went up when Aaron got in there. And you just got to go out there and I don't want to hear that shit. But there were guys that continue to show growth at times. Get 20. Caleb Deloach did really, really well. Like you said, Jamie Robinson, 11. There are guys that are going to come back next year that you can continue to build with. And that's really the only thing you can do. And I will say this. Instead of you didn't get a 40 burger put on you, or 50 burger. So, like, it was a respectable game. Both teams stink, but now you got to go into recruiting, and you really got to go find these guys that are going to make you this. I have a friend who works in recruiting at UF, and when he worked at FSU, and he used to bring this point up. I don't want to recruit good guys, like great scholars. Like, that ain't what I want to do. I want to recruit guys that are going to help me beat Florida. That are going to help me beat – if they can't help me beat Florida, if they can't help me beat Clemson, and they can't help me beat Miami, I don't want them on my roster. Like, today. Let me tell you how track recruits. track and field. And this is why you can see a track and field team. Like our track and field team is consistently one of the best track and field teams in the nation. You don't get scholarship money if you can't score points at nationals out of high school. It ain't no, like they may take some kids that they'll develop, but you'll walk them. You're not getting a scholarship unless you can score points at nationals upon graduation. If you can't help us today beat Miami, beat Clemson, beat Florida, then I don't want you. Depth and no depth. We got enough depth guys right now. We need day one. We need guys who coming in that's starting, that want to take somebody's job, and that's the only way you can get better. When I came into Florida State, every year they brought in a fullback to take my place. I was brought in to take somebody's place, and which is wild because now it's not like that. But I came in with another true freshman, Torrance Washington, and Torrance didn't make it. I came in to take another redshirt freshman's job, BJ Dean, and me and BJ battled the entire time. And every year they brought somebody else in to take our spot. That was just at fullback. When I came in, it was Leon Washington, Lorenzo Booker, Hollywood Clay, Thomas Clayton. 4-star, 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 5-star, 5-star. That next year they brought in a guy, I can't remember his name. Then that next year they brought in two guys, Lamar Lewis, Jamal Lewis, 4-star, 4-star. Then that next year they brought in Anton Smith, 5-star from out of Pahokee, and another kid, Russ Ball, 4-star out of Texas. I'm telling you that because every year my position coach Billy Sexton brought somebody in to take somebody's spot. Wasn't no smiles or hallmarks. There wasn't no friendships. He liked us. He loved his wife. Like, and his job was to make sure to put the best people out there. Sometimes people might have felt like he didn't, but shit, everybody went to the league. So the people who played went to the league. So, and only one guy transferred out of there was Thomas Clayton. Same thing at wide receiver. Like when I think about the national championship, you got Anquan Bolden was a freshman, and they're stealing snaps from Snoop Menace, Peter Ward, Ron Dugans, Lavernius Coles, who was up here earlier, a bunch of other guys, man. Like, you got, damn, how can you not get better with that? When Ahmad Black was telling us about who the starting people was in 707 at Florida when he played, and who his starting 707 was on defense, shit, how can you not get better? All them cats went to the league. But right now, and I will not concede to the fact that we don't have those guys on our roster. What I will say is that we don't have those guys ain't bringing it out of themselves on the roster. That's on Joseph's stepson, dog. Like you can say what you want to say, dog. Like Andrew Parchment is six something, over 6 foot, about 200 pounds, runs a 4.4. You got all the measurables. You ain't making one-on-one catches. That ain't on your talent. Your talent is there. That's on you and your heart, bro. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy off the field. So we nice guys. We do a lot of things for the community and things like that, giving back. But it wasn't nothing nice about it. I wasn't very friendly on the field with my teammates either in practice. Like, I was trying to run through your chest and let you know I was out there. And I feel like right now we got too many nice guys on the field. Like, a few guys came out and tried to make their mark in this game, but we got a lot of guys that ran away from it. We looked soft. And that's not Florida State. It has to change.
It was hit or be hit. And it's nothing like taking your hand and getting it up under somebody's shoulder pad and jabbing that shit into somebody's throat and watching them have to backpedal. Or they're going to choke them. And you're going to drop them on. And when they backpedal, you get an opportunity. We call it baptizing. You get an opportunity to drop them on their neck. I didn't see enough of that. I don't see enough. I remember being so good at it that I got confident enough to challenge the offensive line. I told what was Swole name? Montre Holland. Played for the Cowboys, played for the Saints. I mean, it was a terrible mistake too. But it was I had the confidence. I told Swole, I said, Swole, man, I can get you on the boards. Swole hit me in my chest so fucking hard. Like I realized that day. Matter of fact, that helped me keep my weight down. Because they said if you get too big, you're gonna be a nose. I said, fuck that. No sir. If I gotta hit him, if he get I'm good with linebackers. Let me get what I got. So I mean, all that being said is, man, them boys can do it. They got an off season. They got to come together as teammates and all that brotherhood shit, be closer than we ever been. Like, I don't want to hear all this shit. Show me. I love my coach. Make sure your coach don't get fired. That's how you show your coach you love him. That's how you show your coach you believe in. Believe in the system, play better. We have no choice but to address it in the off season because I don't think you can go to a bowl at 5-7. And truth be told, we don't deserve a bowl at 5-7. But we're improved and yeah. But I don't like losing like that. So that's all I got to say.
That's all you got for me, and I'm right with them. I see people talking about a bowl game. That's bullshit to me. We didn't earn it. I don't want to see it. Go win more games next year and get yourself in the bowl.
You got to earn it, man. That's all, man. So, anyways, great season. We'll still continue to give you inside drills. We'll have more interviews, more talking about topics on and off the football field. Appreciate everybody stopping by, dropping in. Please make sure you go like at sportsden_live at Inside Drills. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Tag a friend, comment on Facebook. Give us them stars on YouTube. Give us the like. Give us the share. You guys have a wonderful evening. Continue to have blessed holiday weekend, and we'll see you guys later.